Hello and welcome to my show or my point of view, and I would like to discuss some things that I see often, and it kind of makes me wonder why, but it seems like when Christians pretty much how they do things and stuff, they seem to say, like for instance, when they confront atheists in the atheist community and people such as um, Dark Matter or uh, Dark Matter 2525 on YouTube, and also um, Jacqueline Blinn. Sorry for my speech, and also um, Mr. Atheist or um, the Amazing Atheist, I think would be also, and really, I notice how Christians they seem to pretty much they I guess try to mean well. Like they say things in such a kind of hateful way that it seems like, for instance, they would tell you if you don't repent, you're going to go to hell. But then again, when Christians don't do it themselves, it's kind of a hypocritical thing to say because it's like, it's how is someone to repent? Damn! But how is people to repent if in the Christian church and also the Catholic church and whatever denomination doesn't do the same thing? Does that question sink in? It's kind of like one of those things where it's one second. It'll work. Where was I? Oh. Pretty much when Christians do not say and do what they are supposed to do, as far as it being by example, it's kind of a hypocritical thing. And in the Bible, there was actually many times where Jesus even called the Pharisees hypocrites. And a few other people, I guess he called us hypocrites too, because they were saying stuff like, why are you healing on the Sabbath? And stuff like that. Which, I guess that was his favorite day to work, do healing, which technically could be doctors' work too, because doctors and stuff would pretty much, I'm guessing, would work around the clock every single day. So, I kind of see Jesus as kind of a doctor more than like what he was pretty much. Now, I wouldn't doubt that maybe he'd had some special knowledge of how to heal certain things and stuff. And it's kind of like how they say the let me figure this one. It's kind of like saying I can fly when obviously I don't have wings and I can't afford it. Now, if I could fly, that would be way cool. But seeing that I can't, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that, especially where if you make a huge claim, you gotta have concrete evidence to back it up. And also, you have to have eyewitnesses to back it up. So, in the Bible, it does say that there were a bunch of eyewitnesses on, for instance, Jesus' death and resurrection, and in a way, maybe they could have seen in a different way. Maybe he actually was, maybe it kind of looked like it, like he wasn't, but it's kind of when the mind is like with so much stress and stuff like that, and your mind kind of imagines things and stuff, and that would be like a hallucination. And when you're under so much extreme stress, sometimes your mind can play tricks on you. Just like dreaming, like, I don't think I did that. But for instance, like a well-known thing that seems to occur sometimes in some people called sleep paralysis. Now, sleep paralysis is like one of those things where when you're asleep, you can't, if you're like, you sort of wake up, but you're still, your body is not functioning because your full body has not woken up yet. So if you're like in that state when you are dreaming, if you wake up, your dream, whatever it was, you would pretty much see whatever there was in that dream in front of you because you're still technically dreaming, but you're awake while you're in a dream, if that makes sense. I'm no doctor or anything, so anything that I do say probably would not make sense as much, but hopefully you can bear with me on understanding. And pretty much one of the things that I do realize and stuff is sometimes we want to believe something so bad that it does become a issue. But when it comes to like the Bibles and the stuff like that, I kind of don't think that the Bible all the way 100% true. And the reason why I do say this is because all the translations and all the retranslations and stuff like that, it's very hard to keep up because in over time, languages change and pretty much words are replaced with other words but still have the same meaning. For instance, the word rapture pretty much means, and I think Greek, pretty much just to be called up or be carried up. And that's pretty much a kind of thing is that the Christians believe that there will be a rapture at the church, which they say that it will be before the Antichrist comes, but the funny thing is, if you actually read the Bible, it actually does not say that. It does not say the claim of that, because in the four Gospels that are pretty much known where Jesus has been speaking and stuff like that, his one of the things that he did say was that kind of a boring topic, but I figure just needs to be said. However, Jesus did not say that the rapture will happen before the Antichrist comes. Whoever the Antichrist is, or whatever it is, because Jesus said that we would be in the tribulation. So as a formal time, I used to be a skeptic and I used to be an atheist. But then I converted to being in Christianity. But then now I'm kind of rethinking about it, because I'm thinking, well, maybe I made a mistake, because I don't want to die. I don't like that following any crowd or saying that hateful things and stuff to other people that don't believe the same thing I believe. And I do believe that God does maybe exist, and I do believe that Jesus probably, in fact, there is historical evidence supposedly that he did exist. However, I don't think he was the way people say. And the reason why I say this is because if you look at the Jesus that they display on the, for instance, in the movies and stuff, and stuff like that, they say that he pretty much has was a very good looking person and respectable, and they say because he had long hair and stuff like that, based on the ideal that came from the Shroud of Turin. And how do we even know that that was the actual burial cloth that Jesus was buried in? Because I don't actually think it was. Because if you remember, there were two other guys that were crucified right on the side of Jesus. So how does anyone know it wasn't one of them instead? And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think Jesus actually had long hair. I think he had pretty much maybe shortened hair, but maybe if he did have long hair, pretty much back then, I don't know if he would have used anything like scissors or anything because of the way it faded, but they could have used like some kind of maybe a knife or sword or whatever, because those were invented back then and stuff like that as a form of weapons and tools. But also, I want to get to the base key of my intentions of this video, and a lot Christians in the past have done some pretty horrific things, and for instance, as history has shown, the, when Christians have hanged witches during the Salem witch trials, and that is historical evidence, and also when the Crusades happened and stuff like that, that whoever did not believe in Jesus pretty much was pretty much killed. And that's, I do not think Jesus would have condoned that. The reason why I say this is because Jesus was trying to teach love, and pretty much he was more like a rebel than it seemed to me than a person who was going by the rules. Because in the religion that Jesus was raised in, it was pretty much Judaism, and in Judaism, they have a lot more complex rules and things how it is done, and Jesus was saying, for instance, on the washing of hands. Now, rabbis in the rabbi type traditions, I think they wash their hands more than once and stuff like that, because when they are washing their hands, they do like a ritual washing and stuff like that, and pretty much washing like more than once and stuff like that, waiting during a time just before eating. Which is good to wash your hands before eating and stuff because of germs and stuff, but the way Jesus put it was the he told his disciples pretty much to not worry about what the washing your hands, making sure that they're 100% clean. Because pretty much no matter how hard you try to clean up, there's always germs that flow around. This is going to be a really funny blooper video. Anyway, basically, when you think about it, religions had too many traditions. And pretty much religion is, I think, used more to control people by putting them in a state of fear, because by fear they have control. Through intimidation and brainwashing people, and that's not just for Christianity, but also in Islam and any other type of religion that pretty much uses the ideal that if you don't obey to whatever the deity or God or whatever, which I think pretty much is like, I don't think anybody can even please God anyway, because it is, for one, just too hard to do. No one's perfect. So I guess that's why Jesus actually made that the perfectly clear. But the way I see it is, the main focus we need to focus on is love. We need to focus on that, I think, because love is more important than trying to worry about if you're doing this and that right. Because if you're not loving like your enemies or whatever, or praying for people, stuff like that, even when they screw you over or whatever, pretty much and stuff, that's pretty much like what who's better than anyone else. We all pretty much are stuck in this big old planet, and we're all stuck pretty much having to put up with each other. So why not love each other and try to get along and make peace with each other, instead of trying to be up in other people's business and treating them like they're dirt and acting like you're more inferior. There's no one that's more inferior to anyone, I don't think. That's why I think a lot of celebrities pretty much is probably they kind of act like that in some ways, but deep down we're all human. So maybe I might be from another planet. Let's screw with y'all. Anyway, I'm gonna cut this video short because it's about 20 minutes. Holy cow. Alright. Later, and thank you for tuning in. Bye.